Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. This is United Across the Globe, where we talk all things Man United, and news coming out this morning that Sir Jim Ratcliffe is getting into bed with the Glazers. He wants about 25% stake in Man United, and fans are really pissed off about this, and so am I too. So here we are for a very special afternoon show on a Tuesday, half day from work. For sod it, I'm coming straight on, and here comes that very special intro. Everybody, welcome back to United Across the Globe, where we talk all things Man United. What a pleasant, beautiful Tuesday it is. Thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Before we start, actually, I want to shout out Galasso Kits. We're in partnership with Galasso Kits. If you go check out their website, which I will bring up for you now, you can get discounts on shirts from pretty much all over the world, from all types of leagues. I think they even do like the Congo League 2 shirts. You know, they do shirts from literally all over the globe, and it's free shipping as well. I am just going to, if I can, share the website for you so you can see exactly what's going on here. Let's do this like a Buddhist. Share screen. Right. So here is the website, Galasso Kits. They're in partnership with us. Look, you can get shirts from Portugal 2022 World Cup pre-match shirt, Mexico home shirt 2021, Trinidad Tobago in 2021-22, Newcastle United 2017-2018 125th anniversary. And, you know, good prices. They're all authentic as well. So if you go on to Galasso Kits and you tune into the feature shows that happen on Sundays with Marley and Co., there is a promo code in the show. You can get around 15 to 20% discount once you type in that promo code. But you have to watch the show to be able to find out that promo code. So please do tune in for the next one. Feature show also stands for Football in the Americas, if you didn't know. So right, let's move on to what we're all here for. And first things first, Sir Jim bids for 25% share in the club. Glazers really don't want to leave, do they? You know, you had the bid from U.A.T.G as well, from Qatar, and pretty much I think every single Man United fan wants a full takeover. We've got it in the poll as well, ladies and gentlemen. So if you do want to put in what you think should happen, whether it should be a full sale or whether, I think I've even put Snuggles in bed with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, because that's pretty much what I feel it's going to be. It's Sir Jim trying to get into bed with the Glazers. So what do you think about this? It's difficult. It's very, very difficult. We've known about this sale for a very long time now. It's near enough a year, I think, the news come out. And it's been up and down, really. We thought that the Qatar bid was going to get it at some point. Then we thought Sir Jim was going to get it at some point. He doesn't want a full takeover. He never really wanted a full takeover. I think originally he wanted about 50-something percent, 55% maybe, a bit more than what the Glazers want, but they still would have been involved in the club. Of course they would. They still would have a say because they're not the majority shareholder. That doesn't seem to have gone through for both bids. And so Jim's put in a brand new bid, I think over last night, or I think the news come out last night, but it was breaking all over the news this morning. Look, I don't know. There's a lot of people talking about what's the problem with Man United at the moment, the way that they're playing, the off-field situations with players, etc. It's just in a really bad time. I think it's probably in the worst time I think I've ever known it to be. And yes, it's been 10 years since Sir Alex Ferguson, and it's never really looked as bad as it has this year. And it's crazy because last season we had a really good season, to be fair. After everything that went before, the Ronaldo situation and really bad transfer windows, managing to scrape in players like Casemiro, which did help last season. But for some reason this season, every time we get into the Champions League, for some reason, I don't know what it is, we just seem to be crap that year. And we'll be talking about the Galatasaray game in a little bit, but I don't have much hope for Man United in the Champions League. But looking at the ownership, what can anyone do about this? I don't think Man United fans can do too much when it comes to protesting. I have talked to Talk MU. If you go check out United 58, very good channel indeed. He's very up on the protesting and getting the fans outside the stadiums and waving banners. And it's a beautiful thing to do. I admire it. But whether I think it's actually going to work or do anything, I don't think so, because the Glazers really do not care about fan pressure. They're not bothered, because at the end of the day, they're looking at their sheets of profits and the money that the club's still getting, even though it's in turmoil. And it's still making a lot of money. People are still buying merchandise, shirts, etc. And I know a lot of people are saying as well, the whole situation with buying shirts, well, it doesn't matter because Adidas have already put in the money for the next 10 years, blah, blah, blah. They've signed a contract. Yes, but the same thing is, if you stop buying shirts now, that might deter Adidas from continuing with the contract, even though they might have to because they've already sold it, but signed it, but they might actually be a way around it, or they might not be interested to re-sign a further contract afterwards. So I think buying stuff from Man United, including merchandise, going to games, etc., is probably the only way you're going to be able to get the Glazers to make a full sale. Because at this moment in time, everybody's buying the shirts, everybody's following the media, social media sites from Manchester United. So I don't think it helps at all, one single bit. What do I think that Man United fans can do? Really, not too much. Apart from that, I don't think the protesting is going to do anything, because, like I said, the Glazers really don't care about that at all. They're businessmen, and it doesn't really matter to them at the end of the day who's shouting about it. They don't see it like people do in England as football clubs. It's sort of to them like a franchise, like American football is, right? Because you get teams sometimes like relocating and nobody really batters an eyelid. You don't really have fans that are predominantly from that city, if you know what I'm saying. Like you'll have fans of Green Bay that live in California, you know, and you have fans of the LA Rams that live in St. Louis, because they used to be the St. Louis Rams, right? Stuff like that. And they didn't really, I mean, St. Louis fans, they kind of did moan about it a little bit, to be fair, when they moved over to LA, but it's just not the same thing when it comes to Man United, to be fair. Big up to Sideline Football Show. Big up morning here. Good morning to you, mate. I hope you don't mind me chatting about Man United and how poor we are at the moment with everything we do. Liverpool fan here. If the Glazers stay, we would be happy. Of course you would be. Like every other football team in England, and probably Real Madrid, etc. as well. They'd probably be happy, because Man United have been on a perch for a very long time. Biggest club due to the money that comes into the football club, not necessarily what we've won, because Real Madrid have won way more in European Cups and probably domestically as well. But the reason that I feel that the Glazers have to go is because you really want someone in your club whose full interest is to make the club better again, or as good as it has been. And they don't look like they're interested in doing that at all. You saw the game against Crystal Palace at the weekend. The rain is still coming through the roof. It's pouring onto people. And you think with the amount of money that comes into the club and the amount of money that the Glazers got, you'd think that they would eradicate that problem, because the media are jumping on it. And so right, they should be. You have to look at that as a big sign. The fact that they really do not care about the club. They can't even literally fix some holes in the roof. And we know Old Trafford needs investment. And this is another reason why I think that the Glazers would rather stay and have someone like Sir Edward Wood come in with a 25% bid for the club, and then eventually, maybe in 10 years or so, be able to buy it outright. You got to remember as well with Sir Jim Ratcliffe, he kind of says that he supports Man United. Yes, we know he's had a season ticket for Chelsea, etc. And he said he's been a boyhood fan for the club for since he was a boy, many a year. Yeah, of course, he was a boy. But I don't know. It just doesn't seem right to me. It feels like he's going to be someone that wants to do exactly what the Glazers are doing and make money out of it. Yeah, he might want to get some investment in for himself once the Glazers have pushed out eventually, and then like refurbish the stadium or build a brand new one and do everything that the club need to do really to push on. Sideline says, if you get new owners and it's a different story. It just depends, I guess, doesn't it, Sideline, what owners you get. I know Liverpool have had their problems with owners in the past. Doesn't look too bad now. No, I think with Liverpool as well, just to throw this into the equation, is they could be bigger than what they are. I mean, you look at them in the transfer market, they can't really still compete with the likes of Man City, probably Newcastle, Real Madrid, etc., etc. They can't do it. And it's quite strange, really, because Liverpool is a massive club worldwide. It's got fans from all over the world. So it is weird to me how Liverpool can structure and get a better club. But I think I understand the reasons why. I don't think the Glazers recruit people properly at the football club. I think you can see that from a mile off, like John Murta, etc. I don't think they're very good at what they're doing. And people might not agree with me on that. And that's absolutely fine because we all have our opinions. But you look at like Brighton and look at Aston Villa right now and the people that they've got underneath their board, the people that are recruiting players in and they're buying players that are going to be or are a really good level. And I look at Man United's signings this summer. To be honest, I know a lot of people saying it's a good summer. It wasn't to me. And I know a lot of people like Mason Mount as well, but that was so underwhelming. I didn't like that signing at all. I do understand why Chelsea got rid of Mount because of the financial fair play and the fact that he's a youth player and he came through their academy and it's pure profit. And that's the reason why they can get around it. But for him to go to Man United and I don't know, it just didn't do it for me. It's like, really? And look, that was at the end of the day, Ten Hag's signing. He wanted Mason Mount. So people saying that Ten Hag shouldn't be sort of moaned at by the fans. Of course, he should be a little bit. At the end of the day, it's not completely the Glazers' fault, the way that the Man United are playing on the field. Of course it's not. Of course it's not. But at the same time, a lot of the money that they say that they're putting into the club isn't actually their own money. It's the money that's coming straight back from sales of profits on merchandise, etc. And that's all they're doing, really. They're taking their dividends out, but they're not actually putting in their own money. So everyone's saying that they've spent a lot of money still. Not really, they haven't. You see other clubs are actually putting in their own money to do better for the club. And I think even Brighton are in a position like that as well. I think they owe a little bit of money out, but they're doing the right thing. They've recruited well. And I don't think Man United have got a good recruitment system. And you have to blame the owners for that because it's time and time again that we're just getting it wrong. We look like we're going up on a trajectory and then we just slide back down and we're crashing back down. So I personally would like to see a full sale. Of course I would. Many other Man United fans would too. But unfortunately, they own the football club and there's not a lot you can do about it. And I know people were saying protest, keep protesting, get the Glazers out, but they really don't care. It falls on deaf ears. They're American business people. They do not care. The only reason they'll care is if they start seeing profits sliding down and seeing the disinterest from fans for buying shirts, etc., which kind of infuriates me as well when people say they really love the club, but yet they're there buying the brand new shirt for £90, £100 with names on the back, etc. And it's like, if you really love the club, you just wouldn't. I haven't bought this from United. Do you know what I mean? I haven't bought a Man United shirt. Personally, I've not bought a Man United shirt since 2006. So I've done bloody well. All right. I mean, someone's bought me one, but not like it was like an EA Sports fifth kit Man United thing. So I don't think that counts. But I didn't. It was a surprise. How can I tell people not to buy me something when I didn't know? So I understand that for people, like if you get Christmas and you get the present, you didn't ask for it. But personally, have I gone out and bought anything from the football club since 2006? Absolutely not. I haven't. And I think that is a voice. That is a way of protesting. That's a way of saying I'm not for this anymore. And the difficulty I have with the way things are going is the fact that it's been so long now, since October, November, since they put it, well, kind of said they were putting it on the market. They were looking for investment. They really wanted the full sale, but the Qataris don't see this club being worth 8 billion. And it probably isn't at the moment. It looks like prices in buying clubs at the moment is sliding down a little bit. But that doesn't mean that's going to be like that forever. It's just at this moment in time, the way that the world's been, you had the COVID situation, etc. Everyone's trying to pick back up after the last 2 or 3 years. But it's surprising. You see how much Chelsea went for, no one expected that Chelsea was going to be worth that much money. But, there's a lot of American people looking to own into the Premier League because of the Club World Cup, which is happening in 2025 in America, and the World Cup that's happening in Canada, America, and Mexico. This is another reason I feel the Glazers want to stay there. They're having a World Cup in their home soil, right? And it'll be the first time that they have a World Cup on home soil while they're owning one of the biggest clubs in the world. So as a business opportunity for the Glazers, it's a silly idea. And I hate it, but it's truth. It's a silly idea for them to just run out now 2 years before that tournament starts, or 2.5 years. But of course, the World Club Cup, its first ever one, the 32 team, starts in 2025 in America. And Man United could potentially be in it. So if they did sell up a full sale now and then Man United made it, they'd just be watching from the sidelines and have nothing to do with it. And they want something to do with it. And they feel like there's a business prospect for them for these 2 tournaments in that 1 year where they can make a shitload of more money. Let's be honest. And it's worrying that this might go on till 2027, 2028. I'm not even sure whether Sir Jim will get the 25% stake. I really don't. They probably want investment from certain different groups, but they still want to really own the majority. And of course, with the 25% from Sir Jim, they will own the majority, but eventually he wants that to change and he wants to be the majority shareholder. So I don't know. I feel like they probably want to get lots of investment in, but they probably at least want 75 to 60% of the ownership of the club. That's how I feel. Let's read out a few more comments here from Sideline. It was more fun when we compete against you. Now it's oil money competition. Well, for Newcastle, certainly it could be going that way, couldn't it? But they haven't really. They spent quite a bit for Newcastle, let's be honest. But they haven't really got a financial fair play situation because Micah Ashley actually ran the books very well. He didn't spend out a lot of money, so they'll be all right for another couple of years. But yeah, with the Man City thing, well, look, they're in a lot of a spot of bother, aren't they, as well? So we'll have to see what happens with Man City. But yeah, I get your point. It's if Qatar come in and that's another oil giant in the league. I mean, you're looking at, you've got Abu Dhabi for Man City. You've got potentially Qatar for Man United. And of course, you've got Saudi Arabia in for Newcastle. I do understand completely, but I just honestly think that's just the way that football is going to go. Football clubs are going to go up more and more money. And the only people that are probably going to be able to afford it is people like Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, and all the other oil company owners in Middle East, etc. I think that's the way it's just going to go. Otherwise, if you get a person in sort of like Sir Jim Ratcliffe, is he going to be able to push the club forward? I don't think really he is. I think he might be able to run it a bit better with a bit more compassion, because obviously he is a fan and he would definitely probably understand what the fans want. He's, like I say, he's a fan himself, so he shouldn't really be on a different game to us when it comes to that. But yeah, I don't know. It's, you know what, it's annoyed me for so long. You know, I remember when Alex Ferguson left, and I was like, this is going to be difficult now because we have the American owners, and they probably weren't too keen on David Moyes being the manager afterwards. I think they wanted Pep. Actually turned out to be a very bad mistake, didn't it? But at the end of the day, it was the boss's mistake. He was the one that said Moyes was the next one to come in and do the job. Wasn't really given enough time, I don't think. Didn't do too bad in the Champions League. Patrice Evra scored that wonder goal. Love that goal, but that's all the past now, isn't it? And ever since then, it's just been really annoying. Everything about Man United is coming out. And all the players that have been doing wrong or right, no one's actually been convicted of anything yet. So, but it's just a lot of noise that doesn't need to be happening at the football club. And especially with the leaking roof recently that the media have been picking up upon. It's embarrassing, absolutely embarrassing. We'll talk about Palace and Galatasaray quickly at the end here before I finish off. Sideline, thank you. You're the only one that's given us comments today. Thank you so much. I just randomly did the show. I didn't have it set up at all. I like doing this because I like, you know what, I haven't done a United show for the last couple of weeks because I've been fuming about what's been going on. And you see, if this was sort of all done, this show, just to make money, but it's annoyed me that much that as a fan, I just wanted to shut the door on myself and just stay in the closet and just stay in the dark and just cry and sob and weep, because there are ways to make this club better. There really is. It's not being run properly by the Glazers, I don't think at all. And there just needs to be change. But how do we get that change? And I think the only way is to stop buying merchandise, etc. Show them that you're serious about the football club and it means more to you than just buying all that rubbish, because it just isn't worth it at all. The project is failing at United at the moment. It absolutely is. Please come back. Seriously, it was more fun. Amrabat, and that was it. Højlund is not bad, but not enough. I mean, yeah, it's not enough, is it? Højlund's a prospect for the future. That's the thing. And he looks fairly decent. Yes, he hasn't done much yet. He scored one goal and had one offside. Was it offside? I think it was. But I think he will be for the future. But you just can't put all that on his shoulders. How old is he? 19, 20 years old? He shouldn't be the starting striker for Man United. He should be someone looking up to someone who's already a striker. I really do think like getting Kane in and then having Højlund take over from him would have been the best option. That's just not going to happen at all, is it? Unfortunately. And I don't think there's anyone out there of that same bracket of player and age who can come in for the next 3 or so years before Højlund takes that next step and becomes the first teamer and the first number 9. But hey ho, yeah, I'm just not happy with the signings. I'll be honest with you, not happy with the signings at all. I don't think it's been very good. My standards were raised really high from being a Man United fan from way back when I was, how old was I? I was 5 years old when I started supporting Man United. So that's 1990, 91. And we weren't the team to be supporting. Arsenal, Liverpool, they were the teams to be supporting. Man United weren't even in the equation. So people wonder, like, when I'm from the south, how did I start supporting Man United? It wasn't because we were dominating at all. Just so happens 2 or 3 years later, we did start dominating. I picked right. I picked beautifully. But I guess when I was young, I've seen Brian Robson, Mark Hughes, Steve Bruce, Pallister, Paul Parker, and even going on a little bit later on, Jake Kanchelskis, Ryan Giggs. They were the reasons why Man United really sunk in for me. And I know it's very tribal, isn't it? Supporting teams in football. A lot of people support the teams of their parents, or if they're in an area that's really big for football, which I'm not really, to be fair. If you live in Manchester, you know, it's massive. Like, you are pretty much going to be one or the other, more predominantly Reds, because they are the biggest team in Manchester. Probably not right now, but overall, yes, they are. So I agree with you. Amrabat and Højlund, just not convincing right now, but I think Højlund will get there. Amrabat, I think he'll get there too. I don't like to see him playing at left back. Don't care whether you enjoy playing there or not. We bought you to be a CDM to let Casemiro push up more, and hopefully we get to see that. Did you watch that? Said to Piers Morgan, I did hear about it, and I think it's a little bit of a discredit to Ajax, actually, because he was talking about his days at Ajax, and obviously Ten Hag came from there, and I do agree with him on the fact that it's different for Ten Hag, I think, this venture with Man United, because at Ajax, you're literally bringing through the academies, aren't you? You're bringing through youth talent, whereas Man United at the moment, it's all a bit mixed match, isn't it? There's a couple of players that are coming through. You know, you've got Garnacho, Højlund, obviously didn't come through the academy, but he's a young player who, you know, you can nurture and make the best out of. But I just think it's a completely different thing for Ten Hag. It's a big kettle of fish, and I think it will be difficult for him, especially with all this crap he's had to deal with the press, like Anthony Greenwood, the Ronaldo situation, the Maguire situation. There's so much going on, that the ownership, so much to deal with in the space of how many months has it been? Or a couple of months since the start of the Premier League. So yeah, the Zlatan thing, I need to watch the rest of it. I think it's on Thursday with Piers Morgan. It'd be very interesting to watch that. Indeed. Give me some of these tears. Oh, mate, honestly, I wouldn't do it live on here, mate. I'd make a river, and I'd be going down like in a canoe. It's not disrespect to Ajax, but I find it so true. Well, I kind of think it does, because at the end of the day, he's saying that Ajax isn't really a big club, but they are. How many European Cups have they won? I think it's around about 5, is it? 4 or 5? It's more than Man United. It was at one point, sideline, more than Liverpool, until you won it in 2005, 2005. And when you won it again in 2019. So yeah, they're a big club. So I don't know. I personally, and I'm not saying this is right or not, I just found it to be a little bit disrespectful to Ajax, because they are a decent club, and unfortunately at the moment they've got some serious issues going on, especially with fans and fighting, etc., etc. Now, I've been to the Johan Cruyff Stadium. It used to be called the Amsterdam Arena. I've been there a lot. I've seen a lot of games there. I've seen Luis Suarez there score goals. I've seen Eriksen there scoring goals. I've seen De Jong scoring goals. Yeah, so I've got a love for Ajax. So that's why I just felt like it was a little bit disrespectful. But at the end of the day, that's how he sees it, and that's his opinion, and that's absolutely fine. So yeah, the Sir Jim bid, it's getting into the bed with the Glazers. I've actually put that in the poll. Should the Glazers make a full sale or jump into bed with Sir Jim? Snuggles in bed with Sir Jim. 33% so far. Only 3 votes. Come on, people, get them in. 67% say a full sale, which I knew it probably was going to be, because the majority of Man United fans really want that. So yeah, let us know in the comments if you think they should be doing a full sale, or do you think that they should be climbing into bed with Sir Jim? Sorry, that was me. Because that what would make a Liverpool fan? Yeah, exactly. You've got to be for your team, mate. You know what I mean? Don't be biased or anything. Don't be biased. So yeah, I know Liverpool fans are going to be happy about this, because the longer that the Glazers in, the longer it is that Man United don't actually pull their socks up and start competing, because I really thought Man United could compete this season if they had a very good summer transfer window, and it hasn't been. And some of the players that we brought in, like Sancho, like Anthony, haven't been that great. Let's be honest. Definitely Sancho hasn't been that great, and everything that he's been coming out with in the media has just been detrimental. Not very good, especially with a player on so much money. He's one of the top earners at Man United, and I don't know if he's going to play another game this season. He'll probably be off in January. So it's just underwhelming, and I just hope things will get sorted out, but I just can't see it. It's like Groundhog Day with Man United. Every single day it's the same crap. And you feel like, oh, because you got a top 4 finish, suddenly like everything's going to be rosy and great next season, and then it starts off crap again. This is the worst start to any Premier League season I think we've had at Man United. This is awful. Absolutely awful. Because that would make a Liverpool fan, yes, he's happy, laugh out loud. Well, yeah, so look, we've been talking a half an hour there about the situation. Obviously, I said, is the protest working? And I've said that bit as well. So we've gone through that. Basically, I don't think it's working. I think you should still do it. But I also think another way of protesting is actually stop buying shirts, stop buying merchandise, stop going to the games. If they see that there's nobody in the crowds for a home game, trust me, that has an effect bigger than anything, bigger than protesting, bigger than standing outside a house, bigger than banners. Massive. But unfortunately, you always see predominantly more people. And I just feel like I don't understand whether these fans actually want this club to do better or not, because it just feels like people don't. It just feels like it's, I don't know, like when you like have a favorite artist and you love the music, and then they sign to a big major label, and then like the next album that they bring out is just not them. And yes, people do evolve and like to try and make things different in their music, or I get that. But sometimes you can just tell that it's sugar-coated, watered down crap, basically. And you're like, what has happened? And you know it's literally been managed by people that are thinking more about money than the actual artistic endeavour of these artists. And this is exactly what I see with Man United and the Glazers. They don't look at it as, and at the fact that we could be lifting cups and we could be successful because we're predominantly a very good big team with a big supporting group. They're just looking at the money coming in. They don't really care what the fans think, because at the end of the day, for them, this is a business. This is a franchise. And whatever you fans say, you can protest, you can stand outside the Old Trafford as much as you want every single day, standing in the rain, standing in the sunshine, don't matter what weather it is, they will not listen to you because they don't care. As long as you're there buying tickets and that stadium is being filled up and that shop is being how can I put it? It's been used by football fans and people going in and buying stuff, then you're never going to get a change. You're never going to get a change. The change has to come from within the fans and what they do and how they approach Man United. Even if that means cancelling your MUTV, stop following them online, on Twitters, on Instagrams, etc., because they're making money out of that. Again, remember, they're making money out of that. Every follow, every like, every share, they make money from that. Even their YouTube channels. And as long as they're making money, you can speak as loud as you want, but it's deafening to them. Like they can't hear you and they don't care, because all they hear is what they see. And that's the money that's coming in. I do not think they will sell shares. They are business people and they look at it differently than us fans. I think they'll sell shares. I think they want investment and they're going to have to sell some of their shares. I think 25%, they'll look at that from Sir Jim and go, that's great. That's brilliant. We'll get 75%. We'll still have like the majority. We can make all the decisions. Sir Jim can have a tiny bit of an input, but not a lot and not enough really to change much. It's just the fact that he's saying that then later on in time, he'll be able to take over the whole lot. That's what he wants. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know, because it could be like 5 or 10 years' time. So the Glazers could be here for a very long time. And I again, like I said before, I don't think they're going to go, especially not going to go before the World Cup. And that's 2026. That's 2.5, 3 years. That's the same story for all clubs. It is. It is the same story for all clubs. That's the thing. But for Man United, it's not just your average club, as Liverpool isn't, right? Okay, I'm going to be honest with you. Man United, Liverpool are up there the same. So we'll move on from that now. I've been on that for 35 minutes. Let's quickly look at what happened with Palace. I was on the Eagle Eye Football with Rich and a few others the other day. Shout out to Eagle Eye Football, Crystal Palace channel, doing numbers, doing really well. And they were all glum when I went into the studio, all glum because they'd lost to Man United in the Carabao Cup 3-0 at Old Trafford. And I was like, why are you looking so glum? I'm glum about that performance. And they were like, yeah, but so are we, because we could have done really well in that. And I was like, but I got this funny feeling that Palace are like more worried about what's going to happen in the Premier League. And I guarantee there'll be a different story, a different outcome when Crystal Palace come back on the weekend to Old Trafford, because they got the 3 points. They got a 1-0 win. We had so many shots on target. We had quite a lot of possession, but we couldn't do anything with it. We were terrible. It's an awful game. Palace played very well. They defended right down to the very ground. And you've got to give Roy Hodgson praise as well, because he wasn't very happy with Wednesday's performance, and he wanted to go back up to Old Trafford and prove that they could do a little bit better, and they did. They got the 1-0 win, and being, what is it? Is it 10th position in the Premier League right now? Jesus Christ, what's going on? Honestly, it's crazy. So well done to Palace. Champions League, talking about that, we got a game tonight. Yes, we have. Galatasaray. Zaha, Wilfred. Is he going to get some revenge? Because obviously it didn't work out for him at Man United, but he's saying out in the press that it's not anything about that, really. He's looking forward to it. I'm not looking forward to it, because I personally think this is going to be a difficult game. Even though it's at Man United as well, we're not really playing well at home this season. Doing probably better, I think, away. Even with Bayern Munich, but it was a terrible game. And it didn't matter that it finished up 4-3. That result did not tell you what the actual game was and what was happening, because literally every time we went and scored a goal, Bayern Munich just went, oh, we'll go and get another one now. Then just to, do you know what I mean? It was just sort of like they'd always get another goal just to keep one above or two above, one above, two above, one above, two above. It's just so annoying, because we just played awful going away to the Allianz Stadium. And yeah, it's going to be difficult for Man United in the Champions League. Do I think we'll beat Galatasaray? We've definitely got to go out tonight and put in the performance of our lives. Do I think we'll be able to do that? I'm not sure. Should we drop Rashford? I'm not too sure. He's been having a terrible time this season. Great last season. And like, I don't know if I'm right or wrong about this, because literally I'm just going off the dome here, but I'm pretty sure Rashford was predominantly playing as a striker, as a number 9 last season. And that's where he had his best season last season. I know people saying he's better on the left, but I can't see that he's better on the left. I like it better when he's one-on-one with goalkeepers, like he was last season. And yet, look, it seemed like he was predominantly playing a striker. But I might be completely wrong about that. Maybe he just did it every now and then, but it felt to me like he was playing more of a attacking role, not on left or right. And he was doing much better there, bagging in goals. Didn't he get his best tally last season for Man United? So I don't know if it's working out on the left for him, because like he'll beat maybe one player, then he'll slow up on the second player, then he'll just try and pass it, and it just gets taken by the opposition. I just don't know. I'm very underwhelmed by him as well at the moment. I'm just being honest. It's not like personal against the players or anything, because I like people, I like life, but we're just talking about football at the moment. I just don't think they're playing their best. I hope they get a good kick up the arse by Ten Hag and a few other people, especially like maybe Varane and Casemiro. They've been in situations where they've won Champions Leagues and La Ligas, and I mean, even Varane's won a World Cup, So we need these players also to step up and show these youngsters how to use the mind in certain certain that's a tongue twister, certain situations, and I hope they can. So do I think the score tonight versus Palace, I mean, sorry, I'm thinking it's Palace versus Galatasaray. They'd be lucky, wouldn't they? Galatasaray, I'm going to say 2-0 Man United with my heart, but with my mind, I'm going to say something like a 2-2. I'm going to say 2-2. I think Galatasaray ain't looking too bad. They're second in the Turkish league underneath Fenerbahce, and they've brought in some decent talent this season. You know, Wilfried Zaha, like we said, has gone there. A few players from Serie A too. So we'll see what happens. Sideline says, anyway, brother, have a good day. Spread love, no hate. And Liverpool is the best club in the world. Of course you're going to say that. Of course you're going to say that. And the many fans in Malaysia. Because when I went out to Malaysia, Kuala Lumpur, crap loads of Liverpool fans out there. Honestly, mad. I saw actually when I was out there, it was a Man United Liverpool derby game. Brilliant. It was really good. A mixture, to be fair, of Man United Liverpool. But on the way to the airport, it was all like Liverpool advertisements on the way to the airport and stuff. And you're like, bloody hell, this is a Liverpool land. This is Malaysia, isn't it? But that's pretty much it for me. I just wanted to come on and have a quick chat about it, get it off my chest. And I think I've done that now. And am I happy? I will be happy because I'm going to go off down the pub. I'm going to listen to a few more things about what's going on. And I'm going to enjoy that beautiful sunshine, people. Okay? It's beautiful out there and it's October. So enjoy it while you can. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Let's just have a quick look at the poll. So, yeah, 67% full sale. That's, yeah, 67% for a full sale. And 33% for snuggles in bed with Sir Jim. So there you go. We'll end that poll there. Thank you, everybody, for helping us out. What have we got coming up next? La Ligue des Champions is back on Thursday. Well, I'll be maybe joined with somebody. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on my own or not, but we're going to be delving through the best games of the Champions League this week, which starts tonight and tomorrow night. We'll be back Thursday for that around about 7:00 p.m. Gunners from All Corners will be back, I believe, on Thursday as well. And we've got the Premier League weekend show and the Theta show coming back this Sunday too. And the Football Politics show will be back, I think, next week. So we're going to be talking quite a lot. And I'm hoping to get Mark Halsey, the ex-Premier League referee, back on once again with us at some point. He's very busy at the moment. I hear him on TalkSport. I hear him on Sky. I'm hearing him everywhere at the moment. So, pardon me. But hopefully we can get that sorted. Have a brilliant rest of your day, everybody. Enjoy the Champions League tonight. Tune in Thursday, 7 p.m, and we'll talk about the Champions League. You come have your say. And until then, people, enjoy that sunshine wherever you are in the world. Take care. Bye-bye.